Hi, Urban Village Church. It's us, we're back again. And we wanted to do a little state of the church video at the end of this year and as we enter a new year and talk about where we are as a community. All of us have lived through the last 2 years together, so we know some of what we've been experiencing, that things have been changing all the time, that we have been transformed by our experiences, that the world has been transformed by our experiences of the last 2 years. And in addition, we've gotten a lot of new information from 2 whole years of being in a new staff structure, of over a year of trying online worship and community building, and of now 3 months of in-person worship. We've learned a lot about what works and a lot about what doesn't as a community. And so we think it's time to start thinking about the future.
Yeah, so firstly, we want to sort of just celebrate some of the things that we've made it through this year. Relaunched all of our sites in September, and folks were it was good to see each other after so much time apart, to feel the energy of being together in person in worship. Along with that, we had folks who came and joined us in person for the first time who had been joining us online or who had heard about us. And so it's just a reminder that our community matters and that people are looking for what God is doing, the kind of thing that God is doing at Urban Village. We also celebrate that along with that, we continued our online worship. Jennifer Stevens came on as our digital pastor to just try out this experiment. We've tried out new things in worship and in our community life together. We had a drag worship service at our Wicker Park location. We had a Pride Prom at our Hyde Park Woodland location. This Sunday, we're having our first ever Kwanzaa service at our Hyde Park Woodland location. So just trying out, we've really kind of allowed ourselves to continue that energy of experimentation, but we have leaned into and kind of accepted the invitation of the Spirit to think creatively about our life together.
Sure. And next year in 2022, there are some things that we know are going to change, and there are some things that we anticipate will change that we don't know yet. So here are some of the things we know are going to change at Urban Village Church. One is that we're going to move to a one board model of leadership. Our all-site teams in the past, for those of you who don't know, have been our finance team that thinks through money and spending and the budget, our SPRC, Staff Parish Relations Committee, that's really like human resources for the church, hiring, taking care of staff, facilitating relationships between staff and congregants, and our anti-racism team, which makes sure that we're holding accountable to our values, helps us do racial equity impact analyses and regular caucusing. And those we're going to have meet for at least the first half of the year and possibly the whole year in a one board model where we meet all at the same time. There's a couple reasons that we're going to do that. One is that change is always happening, but it's happening extra fast right now. And so we want to be able to be responsive to it. And sometimes that has so many interlocking pieces. We want everybody to be in the same room at once. A second is that as we plan for new futures, we want every single wise voice that we can find to be a part of those conversations. And third is that we know everybody's really tired right now. Like our capacity is all lower, and we think that the one board model will make it more accessible to be a part of leadership, that it will be an easier commitment to make, and that you'll be able to share the load with more people. So that's an experiment that we know will change and that we'll be trying in the next year. Second, we know, and some of you may have already heard through announcements, that South Loop will be taking a sabbatical from Sunday morning in-person worship for about 3 to 6 months at the beginning of the year. Our South Loop site has, since opening back up in person, been asking questions that they were asking also before and during the pandemic. And so they're going to take some time to rest and to dream creatively about where God is leading us and what the future might look like. So if you want to be a part of that creative dreaming, or if you have questions about why that's happening or what's happening next, please contact Pastor Chan. Then there are the things that we don't know about what will change, but we anticipate that things are going to keep happening the way they've been happening for the last 2 years, which means new things will be demanded of us.
This is an opportunity, if you are sort of like, I want to be a part of this conversation, This community is important to me, and I have the bandwidth and energy to be a part of this conversation, to apply to be in leadership, and bring your gifts to the conversation and have a seat at the table. And for those of you who don't have the bandwidth but care about this community, then you can sort of know that those conversations are happening and that there are leaders who have the bandwidth to step up, but also to know that sort of speak now or forever hold your peace a little bit as we seek to continue to move forward and meet this moment and these moments, I should say, and what they're asking of us. Some of you may have some questions about where we are standing financially. We are in our pledge season, and so if you haven't completed your 2021 pledge, please submit that. Also, though, just so you know, financially, we're about halfway in our budget needs in pledges that have been made, and about a third of the way in terms of the households that we are hoping to be able to pledge. We are anticipating that the income is going to be lower, and we are grateful for the leadership and wisdom of our finance team, which has sort of helped us to think through how to save for a rainy day. And so we do have funds to help carry us through the foreseeable future. But again, that conversation about decision making and transitions in the future is certainly tied to our financial realities. And so whatever you know that you can make a commitment to will help us in that decision making.
Finally, as has happened every week of the last couple of years, there's new information this week about COVID and a new surge that we're all experiencing together with the Omicron variant, that we're committed to the following interventions. We will not be having indoor group singing right now. It's too risky. We're not going to do it. We're going to have lots of creative other things. You're going to love piano. You're going to love hand motions. You're going to love being with other people.
Experience.
That's right. You'll be bathed in sound, but you won't make it because we want to keep you safe. We will not be having indoor eating. That had already been true at most of our congregations. We've already been masking at all of our sites. And we're going to keep to 50% or under of our capacity. We believe that those are safety precautions that meet the moment right now, but the moment always changes. And talk to your pastors about what's going to be required and going on at any particular time.
We'll also keep updates on social media as well. So
we'll post it everywhere.
This is a strange and hard time at the end of a very strange and hard couple of years at this point. As we remember this time of Advent and we look toward Christmas Day, we've been talking about it every week, right? That God is among us. God is breaking into the world. And I think the gift of this is that God is among us now. That there is no variant of COVID that can stop the gospel from transforming our hearts, our minds, our lives, bringing healing and liberation in the world. And so take heart, be encouraged, and know that God is with us even in the midst of this. Peace to you.
Peace be with you.